The sky so far, but I can't lose it.
We are back and ready for more, this time at one of the OG tracks, a track that has been on the iRacing service since pretty much the first year that it was ever released and is now nearing 10 years old on the iRacing service. Hello one and all and welcome to RaceSpotTV Friday Night Primetime and the iRacing Formula V series from Summit Point. I'm Nolan Redford with Seven Schlacker beside me in the commentary box, Connor Matic down behind the cameras for tonight's 12-minute race. Bound to be a stellar race as always. We've been having a lot of good races so far throughout the course here, Stefan, and Summit Point, of course, a track that should be great for these cars. Long straights, hard braking zones means we should have a fun, entertaining show up ahead.
Yeah, it should be a very fun show here today, Nolan. As is mentioned, very long straights for these Formula V cars, and we expect these guys to stick together if they can hang on to each other through a very tricky carousel section. So these guys most definitely are in for one of the treats of the Rookie Series racing.
Turn one, obviously going to be a big talking point today, especially with standing starts. No doubt we've seen a couple of drag races out to that first corner. Then, of course, Wagon Bend, a more one-line left-hand sweeper before the right-hand kink at the chute down into the other good pass opportunity on the circuit, just at the hairpin after the chute at turn number 5. Then, of course, comes the carousel in turn number 6, a corner that starts off tight and then you swing out wide. We're cutting back in for a 7 and darting through a very fun little SS. Padding Hill Bend, of course, rounding out the race and the lap, in fact, just at the top end for turn number 10. So you got 10 very fun turns ahead of us. As far as club tracks like this goes, I mean, it's unbelievable here just how fun a circuit like this is. Usually club tracks don't get a whole lot of rep, and people are always talking about these grade A tracks, but Summit Point, in all honesty, Stefan, it's one of those shining stars that I wish could get a little bit more recognition.
Yeah, exactly. Summit Point. I mean, even Laguna Seca, it gets that wrong kind of, stamp of just a club racing circuit. But in reality, these are very great circuits. Like even Okayama, if you get the right cars there, it can be a very fun track. And there's one thing about Summit Point that always sticks out, and that's exactly that turn 5. That you were talking about that Adai Lopez just went through, that very tight left-hander. It has gathered a little bit of a nickname for myself, and that is the Junkyard Sale.
It's a corner we're very used to seeing cars going sideways, and no doubt we've seen a couple of drivers going off there as well today. It's almost tradition to have 1 or 2 go off every single race. We ride on board with Adai Lopez currently just 2 tenths up from Ilya Yevstrin. So I tell you what, it's looking like a tight field today. The top 4 drivers separated by less than half a second. Kovalopez coming across the line does improve. A 127.326 extends his gap to about a quarter of a second there. Still not much though over that number 3 machine. So this could be a very entertaining race. I have a feeling this one might not just be a walk-off win for Adai Lopez.
Yeah, it depends where the number 3 does lose that 0.2 of a second. If it's not through the carousel section, this field might actually have a chance, or at least the top 3 might have a chance of staying with Adai Lopez and bringing on the game to him.
The speeds on these cars, as always, not very high at all. I mean, I was looking at some of the cars coming over towards turn 1, the fast point on the circuit. They were not even hitting 100 miles an hour. Only 98 is what these cars are topping out, even for Adai Lopez. That obviously will not be the case when draft starts playing to a factor, but it just does go to show just how slow these cars can be when they're by themselves. Slow cars, though, seem to work really well on tracks like these. It means you can draft a lot better, you can pass a lot better. I saw a GT race here some years back. Whoa! And that's Miguel Gonzalez having a slide. He will not be getting a second lap in as a result. Out of the final in corner 2. That's a very easy mistake to do. I think, honestly, Stefan, every person on iRacing has made that mistake at one point or another. Running too wide through paddock bend, taking too much curb, clipping the gravel, sending it around from there.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I've done, but if I have done, it probably was kind of like the same situation as it was for our number 4 drivers. But yeah, it is going to be very, very intriguing how this race is going to play out. I mean, even the gap down to 4th place in the very end right now isn't too big. It's only like 2.5 tenths, which is the gap here. So 12 minutes of racing. I think, Nolan, we're once again in for a little bit of a treat.
30 seconds remaining then qualifying. Nobody else will be setting lap times in. It's just the 12-car field. As always, we're used to seeing that here, though there have, of course, been well over 80 entries in tonight's race as well. These are, of course, the 12 best drivers, according to iRacing, that we've got to offer. For the likes of Adai Lopez out there, that's not really a surprise. Craig Cameron, of course, a name that we're starting to grow more and more familiar with, along with Sergio Jimenez, who is currently at the back end of the field. Qualifying is complete. We will take a rundown for the starting grid from tonight's race. It's going to be Adai Lopez on pole with a 127.326 as the drivers start to grid on up. Ilya Yevstrin going to be in 2nd place with Craig Cameron in 3rd. Daniel Loren in 4th. Jonathan Derrick in 5th with David Macari in 6th. Gianni Perrone is going to be in 7th place with Javier Martinez-Reina in 8th. Sergio Jimenez in 9th. Miguel Gonzalez in 10th. The last driver set a lap along with Elijah Drew Garcia and Rowan Dewhurst rounding out the 12-car field for tonight's race. Just waiting on the last few drivers to grid on up here, Stefan, before we get set to thunder down to turn 1 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna hear 12 V-dub engines howling away on the starting grid in just a few moments of time. It's not gonna be the very fastest start that we're ever gonna see, but I think it's gonna be the start, as already mentioned, to a great race, because we do not know exactly if Adai Lopez will have an easy race here today, and quite honestly, I really hope that somebody is finally able to bring that race back to him.
Only 3 drivers that waited on. Check that one now. We're just waiting on the 2nd place driver of Ilya Yevstrin to get himself gridded on up here. The driver driving out of Central Eastern Europe. No doubt should be a driver to contend with today. I mean, Lopez was only a quarter of a second up on him in qualifying. All 12 drivers are gridded up. We are ready to go racing here from Summit Point. So the Revs, they start to build. And we're off from Summit Point. Anacobo Lopez not nearly as down the start he does last time. Further in the back, though, take a look at one of these machines. Sergio Mendes making up 3-4 spots right off of the line. The top three get away well. They're 3 wide further down to the tail end of the field. For turn number 1, though, looks like Cobo Lopez will go unchallenged into the first corner. The top 3 get through well. Side by side for 5th out back. One car does spin around in the back. David McCurry has had a slide at the tail end of the field. Nobody else, though, getting collected. And I tell you what, Stefan, there's a lot of drivers that are looking racing. Miguel Gonzalez starting 10th place. He's already up to 5th.
Yeah, and how about Sergio Jimenez, who started 9th place up into 4th place. So very great racing, both of them, as now Gonzalez goes for that 4th place from 10th, making up 6 positions in just a matter of 2 turns. But the problem is, because of how bad the start was for the 3rd row, these guys have already quite the gap back in front to 3rd place, as we see once again the spin from Macri.
This is the initial start on board with Sergio Jimenez here, coming off of the line. A lot of drivers starting to struggle in the second half of the lap, but look at the start from Jimenez. There's 2 spots right there, just barely avoids a stalled car. It just keeps going up from there already. Punches way up through the order, and just like that, clear basically the entire starting grid. Just in behind, safe for the top 3. It was a flying start from Jimenez, safe for Miguel Gonzalez. This is on board with David McCurry coming in through turn.
Did he get hit?
I don't think he did. I think it might have downshifted, which would definitely explain that. It's a weird incident, though, isn't it? We'll take another look at this, see if he was hit.
No, he was hit.
He wasn't. That was downshifting.
I think that was also a touch at the back at the same time. It did look like Pirone might have touched that gearbox. We're going to see the onboard now from the number 6. So let's have a close look here. That's going to be McCree right in front of him. And yep, sure enough.
That tells the story right there. Just 2 deep on the brakes for Perron. They're battling hard as well in the midfield. Sergio Jimenez is currently in a Hornets. He's got Martinez right behind, along with Jonathan Derrick up in front. Is Daniel Aran trying to fend him off. Looking for the inside. Oh, goes down the inside of Jimenez. And Derrick tries to follow.
Ow.
What was I talking about? This track works good with slow cars. That's why, right there. You go through those fast corners and still be side by side. Look at Jimenez trying to pinch in Javier Martinez Reyna over to the left side of the racetrack, out through 8 and 9. Reyna's not done fighting this one out. Here goes Jonathan Derrick, done waiting around for the number 7 car. He's going to try to punch this ticket back up in further up into the top 10.
Yeah, has the inside line for the last turn paddock bend, and is able to sneak away that P number 7, sorry. But here comes the round for Reyna.
Ilya Yevstrin going around adding Cobo Lopez into turn number 1. Change of the race lead. Like we predicted, Cobo Lopez not going to be able to have an easy victory today. That crossover for Lopez, though. Going to retake the lead in turn number 2 on corner exit. And here comes Craig Cameron trying to maybe make it 3 wide for the race lead. Goes over to the right. Yevstrin tries to cover him off, but Ade Cobo Lopez somehow retakes the race lead. Textbook over and under for the number 1.
Yeah, uses the momentum that he had because of going to the outside and retakes the lead like that, the number 1, showing why he is the king of this series.
He's not going to be able to get away with that for very long, though, no doubt. Further in behind, Reyna wants to get down the inside. Jimenez caught down behind, sends Jonathan Derrick up and into the air, sliding wide through the hairpin as the number 7 car lands on all 4s and is able to recover. But the 7 car having some issues as he went up and over the back end of Javier Martinez Reyna. This is coming up through the wagon wheel bend, I believe this is. We'll take a look at the replay here of what happened to your number 11 machine. This is coming down through the chute here, Stefan, into that hairpin corner. You're going to see Reyna just gets on the brakes a little bit too late and right there over the back wheel.
Yeah, but the good thing is these cars are very sturdy, so that 7 shouldn't have any damage whatsoever. As we once again go side by side for the race lead.
This time it's Craig Cameron looking down the inside of Lopez into turn number 1. Got past Yevstrin in the final corner. Cameron goes through. Here goes Yevstrin. Also down the inside. Lopez is back now to 3rd place. Tries to get the crossover going back for 2nd. Already over the 1/3 of the way through this race, closing in on the halfway mark. Adeko Lopez is looking hungry, trying to retake second.
Yeah, that move by Ilya Yevstrin, it kind of looked like a block pass out of a NASCAR textbook right there. How to do it, Yevstrin, to perfection. Blocks off the run ever so slightly of Adeko Lopez, and that is enough to make him stay ahead of Koba Lopez for at least right now.
And you saw Lopez actually backed off, decided not to try to get the position back on Ilya Yevstrin. I like that strategy from Lopez. He's wanting to use Yevstrin to pull them both quicker on up to Craig Cameron. He realizes they're only going to lose more time if they go side by side, especially in this section. Stay in line, stay in the draft. Let Yevstrin work his way up to Cameron and take you with him.
Yeah, but look at the speed Adeko Lopez has here through the S's, already side by side with Yevstrin. Obviously does do a little bit of a lift, but this might damage his run into turn 1 because he has lost about a car length right there on Yevstrin. But here comes Yevstrin side by side. This is going to be huge for Lopez, but I don't think he's going to try to take it 3 wide here.
6 minutes down, 6 to go. Lopez trying to shoot the middle. Can he go for it? Going to be 3 wide into turn number 1. Lopez backs out from the middle groove, decided he was not brave enough to have that big of a look.
Look at that,
and
though.
Craig Cameron drops down to second place. Now Lopez been trying to go for the lead.
Koba Lopez, he would have been able to shoot the gap there through Cameron and Yevstrin, but he didn't really want to force his luck right there. If he would have done it, he would have had enough room to the outside and he would have been able to take back that first place in just 1 corner. But I think a smart choice right there from Lopez, because once again the look comes to the inside in the yard sale, but Lopez continues in second place, continues to stalk his prey. For how much longer is the question.
Adeko Lopez can be a very aggressive driver, especially when you get to the closing end of the race. And already, we talk about how quick these races go. 5 minutes on the clock, an estimated 4 laps remaining for the entirety of the field. This race is already picking up in a hurry. We've only just started this thing. These races, they absolutely just fly by, and it always keeps you on your toes all the way throughout this race. So now, out of the final corner, Ilya Yevstrin with the lead for now. Not for long, though, does even defend against Adeko Lopez as he goes down to the inside line. He will retake that race lead in the run for turn number 1. Now, we saw Lopez get that over under at 1 a couple of laps ago. You wonder if Yevstrin will try to do the same.
You know, as much as these guys are fighting 4th and 5th, that battle is catching them by about half a second per lap right now. So they're not allowed to play about too much, because with Lopez and Cameron and Yevstrin fighting so much, they're inviting 4th and 5th back into this battle, and this could most definitely kick off another avalanche of passes.
Down into the hairpin, Cameron gets close to Lopez, but it's not enough to go for the overtake, nor is it enough to get into Adeko Lopez, which is obviously the best case scenario. You never want to end up running over a guy who's been winning so consistently and be that guy to break the winning streak like that. This should be an interesting finish, to be sure. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Currently, Yevstrin holds that fastest lap that he set early at the start of the race when he overtook Lopez for the race lead initially off of the final corner on lap number 2, and they've been fighting so hard, nobody's been able to even go for that fastest lap since then.
Yeah, and Cameron did back off there a little bit on his entry for Paddock Bend, and most definitely has perfectly set up his run once again. But look at this, the lift comes in from Cameron and Yevstrin, both of them playing the strategy game here already. So these guys know what's on the line. They could break the streak of Adeko Lopez, and most definitely both of them want to do that right here, right now.
It's an interesting call. We've been seeing Craig Cameron, being so consistently going for this lead position in the last few laps, but now he decides to actually lift off, and I think what he's trying to do here, there's 2 laps remaining. And Stefan, when you're on that white flag lap, you do not want to be the driver at risk of losing that lead into turn 1. Cameron is setting him up for the white flag.
Well, I think, though, with how Koba Lopez has shown his great run through the S's, if he would be losing P1 in turn 1, but only loses back to that second place. I think Cobo Lopez would still have the chance to get back into that first place because of how good his runs have been right through here. That turn number 10 most definitely is the thing to watch for Lopez.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Will this be the white flag lap? I think we might just barely get one more. Out of the final corner, Cobo Lopez has a much larger gap coming to the line. It'll be 1:40 remaining. We will have 2 more laps to go. This will not be the white flag lap. No way they make it back in somehow 13 seconds slower than they have previously. Cameron still doesn't look for the position. Neither does Yevstrin. Once again, they recognize that they are going to have one more lap. They don't want to be in front. They want to be the drivers attacking Cobo Lopez at the end of this.
Yeah, but they also realized that they were reeled in by P number 4, Gonzalo and Aaron. So I think they're right now also playing that strategy game as very slow Sergio Jimenez exits turn 1.
He just got a little bit pushed out wide from the sounds of things. Jonathan Derrick got a bit of a brush with him, but it was nothing too major. Neither driver getting spun all the way around, so that's the good news on that one. We do watch, though, the battle between 7th and 8th going side by side through the chute. Javier Martinez Reina trying to fend off Jonathan Derrick and takes that one around the outside of the hairpin.
Wow.
Beautiful overtake there for the number 7.
What a power move by the 7 past the number 11 for that 4th place after losing it in turn 1. Fights back into that 4th place on board now with Ilya Yevstrin. What will these guys decide? It's up to the white flag. One more lap around the Summit Point Motorsports Park. Who will be the winner? Here we go.
Craig Cameron looks to the left side. He's going to be trying to outdrag him for the race lane. White flag in the air. This is the final lap of the race. You've still got Yevstrin trying to get him. Almost got to the line. March to victory at the line. It was 7th out last time by. So on the white flag lap, who can take this one? Lopez going to be a little earlier on the brace. Give the spot to Cameron, but still not quite clear. Craig Cameron still fighting strong. Now trying to hang on to the race lead.
As said, watch out for Cobo Lopez. Oh, here comes a little bit of a misshift from Lopez, and he's going to lose second to Yevstrin.
Yevstrin goes through. It's a crossover though from Lopez trying to retake second place. This is great news for Craig Cameron, who's going to try to run away with the race lead. Yevstrin's going to fight this one out even into the hairpin. Lopez is not giving up. Goes back through into second place. Still close enough to go for the lead, but now Yevstrin cuts back into the hairpin and turn number 7. So Cobo Lopez going to come around now through 7, 8, and 9. Does he have enough space to run down Craig Cameron? He does not want Yevstrin to fight him on this. He needs to have all the traffic in the world to help both of them catch back up to Craig Cameron. It's a 4/10 gap. We've seen though how quickly these gaps can be neutralized. Down to just 3/10, entering the final corner. Yevstrin trying to the outside. Now to the inside of the final corner. It's not going to be enough. Cobo Lopez going to be coming around in the final corner. Has the draft. Trying to pull alongside with Craig Cameron. Goes over to the right side. Going to get him in the line. Going to be dragging it out.
Cameron
doesn't quite get there. Craig Cameron breaks the winning streak from Cobo Lopez by 15 thousandths of a second.
What a run by Lopez. I told you it will not be decided because of that run. Cobo Lopez has always been able to produce right out of the S's, and he once again showed that that could have been the continuation of his challenge for supremacy. But finally, somebody able to stop the run for the number 1.
What an unbelievable race. And at the end of the day, the only driver to end up falling back was Roman Dewhurst. 1 lap down. I believe the only driver to DNF out of the race as well. Elijah Drew Garcia, the last driver on the course, just coming around through turn 9 now. It'll be the one driver waiting on to finish this thing up before we take a look at the results. But what a race and what a finish for Cameron. He came out of nowhere, stole the win away. I'm going to be honest here, Stefan. If Ilya Yevstrin did not fight Lopez so hard in the first half of the lap, do you think he could have gotten there?
Well, for sure. If we go back to that turn 5, I think it is, after the shoot, if Cobo Lopez would have not been needing to go to the inside there and fight side by side through that hairpin, I think Cobo Lopez would have been there to just about snipe away that first place.
Last cars cross the line. We'll take a look now at the official post-race results. Craig Cameron taking a shock victory, ending the winning streak for Adekova Lopez by 15 thousandths of a second. Ilya Yevstrin rounded out the podium just a few tenths back. Javier Martinez-Reina going to be in fourth place in his own battle with Jonathan Derrick and Sergio Jimenez for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Also in a drag race out to the line with Daniel Oran in 7th place. Miguel Gonzalez in 8th. Daniel Macari in 9th. Gianni Perron is in the 10th position. Rounding out the field is going to be Elijah Drew Garcia and Rohan Dewhurst to finish out the race. Fastest lap set by Craig Cameron on the 8th lap of the race. What a run for Cameron. Setting that fastest lap on the penultimate lap, trying to run down Adekova Lopez. That was absolutely amazing, though, what we saw here at Friday Night Primetime.
Well, Nolan, I told you, we might be set for a very great race, and boy, did they deliver at Summit Point. I know we're gonna be back here in 2 weeks' time once again at Summit Point, but it's sadly gonna be the Jefferson circuit that way around, because let's be honest, I think we need to start a petition to once again be back here at the Big Curse.
That will about conclude our presentation then here from the Summit Point Raceway. What an absolutely amazing race here. I mean, the Summit Point, once again, absolutely like showing that it is such good track. And I'm going to be honest, it always has been. It's one of my favorite beginner tracks you can go to on the iRacing service.
Yeah, Summit Point and Laguna Seca, those two tracks will always be having a very special part in my heart, because these tracks most definitely bring out the very great racing in any car, no matter how fast or slow it is.
The slower courses can sometimes be the better courses among the field here. It's oh my gosh! I mean, what a run! What a run for Craig Cameron to take the victory. What a run for Adekova Lopez trying to chase it down. Ilya Yevstrin nearly came out of left field and stole that as well. I mean, Adekova Lopez has been just walking away with these wins the last few weeks. Not the case today, and it goes to show that if you got Craig Cameron and Yevstrin to be turning up for future races, Adekova Lopez might have a bit more of trouble coming on up for him in just a few weeks' time. I think, though, that is about going to be all the time we're going to have for one day here from the Summit Point Raceway for RaceSpotTV Friday Night Primetime. I've been Ola Rempel with Steven Schlacka beside me in the commentary box and Connor Maddock down behind the cameras for tonight's race. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for another presentation of RaceSpotTV Friday Night Primetime for the iRacing Formula V Series. We will see you guys in just 1 week's time at Tsukuba.